We're just speaking about nutrition. We say it depends on the stage of growth, right? Because of course, if a goat is pregnant, you'll have to feed them differently from if they're not pregnant. Because if they're pregnant, means they're using up a lot of their reserves to grow the kid or the lamb. So we have to be giving them additional feed, right? If it is that they are not pregnant or they're in the dry stage, and what is the dry stage? What is the dry stage? When they say, oh, the goat is in the dry stage or the cattle is going through the dry period, what do we mean when we say that? When they're not pregnant. So let me ask you people. So if I was there giving out this nutrition sheet and when they're in the dry stage, you're there looking at the animal, wonder if him dry yet? Or is she dry yet? Right? Well, the dry period is between when they stop milking, right? And before you breed them again. So that is the dry period. That's what we call the drying off. You know, the term we talk about the drying off period. They use it a lot in cattle production too, especially because they depend heavily on the milk. And so they have to know when the milk production is going to sometimes decrease and all these different sort of things, right? So that is the dry period of the animal. Breeding, early gestation, late gestation, early gestation. We know gestation is the pregnancy stage, so we're saying in the early stages, what should we do? Give them a lot of feed in the early stages? But isn't that when they need most of the feed? Who agree with me? That is when they need most of the feed. In the early stages when the kid is just being developed. Yes? Do I hear some yeses? No? The nays have it because really and truly 70% of the development of the animal actually takes place in late gestation. Right? So that is why you have to know everything about your animal. You have to be the guru on your animal, know about all these different things, right? And lactation, of course, because if the mother is milking the goats, right, she's going to need more feed and better quality feed as well. Because remember, we said that when we're checking the performance of our animals, during that feeding stage, most of it is based on who? Right? I saw a commercial on TV, I don't like to digress much, but I saw a commercial on TV that they're starting up now in Jamaica to say, like you said, my baby mother is pregnant and I follow her to doctor and all this sort of stuff because guess what? If the mother not healthy, the baby not going to be healthy too, right? So basically that is the idea. You have to keep the mother healthy because if the mother is not healthy, then you're not going to get healthy kids or healthy lambs, right? And we already mentioned the dry period and we were saying they eat 2% of the body weight because sometimes you're saying how much would they eat then, right? So they tell you, they give that guideline, right? And how you can feed with hay and you can, of course, use your pellets. This is the breeding period, right? This is flushing. We talk about you're souping up the animal for breeding. Like I said, getting her ready and everything in good health, deworm. She have been dewormed and everything, ready for the breeding. Right? Because you don't want to be breeding a weaky pop-down animal because that will not produce any quality offsprings, right? So you have to get her ready for breeding, right? You don't want her too fat or too thin, and they say the body score should be at least 2, right? Early gestation, which we were talking about, if we should give them most of the feed there, no, right? They say the feed is similar to when you're in dry period. That means when they're not milking anybody and that sort of stuff, right? So you don't have to give them too much feed at that time. Monitor the body condition score in the last 50 days. Remember, they said it's 70% of the fetal growth at that stage. So that is when you want to make sure that she's getting enough feed and the quality feed, right? I'm just going to run through lactation. Of course, we spoke about it, that you need to give her more feed at that time. If you notice, she's eating 4 to 5% of her body weight now. Remember, during the earlier part, we're saying you just give them 2% of the body weight. But remember, you have these, can look over again. And, let me just stop here because sometimes we speak so much about the mother. So much about the does and getting good offspring. We forget about the poor buck. Right? Exactly. And remember, there is a ratio that we said the buck to doe ratio should be what? So wait, somebody must be there killing the poor buck. Right? No, man, that's the first thing. You must know if you have a good buck, you're going to kill him out on the job. Woo. Yes. It's about 1 to 25 for a young buck, 20 to 25 for the young buck, right? And an experienced buck can go up to 30. Sometimes people even give it up to 50 for an experienced buck. In good condition, please. Because people think because the buck is older and experienced, they never give him proper nutrition and then let him loose. And you know he's not going to say no. Right? So he'll be out there jumping away till he drops. If you know the ratio and you have a large amount of females, then you may decide that you actually need 2 bucks and not 1 buck. Or you may decide that you may also want to do artificial insemination that she's mentioning, right? But some farmers, they still haven't gotten too keen yet on artificial insemination. They're still keen on using the buck. So they have to understand the ratio because they can have a large herd and they have this 1 buck trying to service all these animals, right? And remember, we have to take care of the bucks too, not just the female. So you may find that he has told you that, yes, he has finished. And when you look, only half your herd pregnant. And you wonder why. And you start complaining and say the buck not good. Or maybe it's the dose not good. But sometimes it's just the amount of animals that you actually put to that 1 buck. Right? So these are things that you have to be careful with, and that is why we also keep records so you can have an idea of what is really happening to that particular animal.